Friends of WLA, my name is Laura Adjangba, and I'm the President of Women Leaders in Action. Thank you for joining us for the 8th episode of Empowered Women Empower. Today's episode is about an immigrant's journey to success. We have with us Ms. Florence Dennis. WLA's mission. Women Leaders in Action is a 501c3 nonprofit organization based in New Jersey. We are dedicated to empowering women for success through personal and professional development, mentoring, promoting diabetes awareness, and community outreach activities. I'll start off with a quote, since this episode is about immigrants. And it's a quote from former President Barack Obama. My fellow Americans, we are and always will be a nation of immigrants. We were strangers once to Barack Obama. Okay, now, a little bit about Miss Florence Dennis. Miss Florence Dennis is the CEO and founder of Flo's Tasty Treats. Florence Dennis believes the world can actually be a better place. She doesn't just say it, she believes it. Having known good times and tough times herself, Florence wants Flo's Tasty Treats to be a vehicle for change in the world. Her educational journey, along with her professional background in education and government administration, fuels her commitment to removing barriers to quality education. Flo's Tasty Treats is working to ensure children realize their full potential. With each purchase you make, you help Flo's Tasty Treats secure an education for a high school student in Ghana and beyond. Ms. Dennis started her business in 2017 and has participated and benefited from several business training and mentorship programs in New Jersey. These include the Virtual Incubator Program by the Union County Economic Development Corporation, the Entrepreneurship Pioneers Program by Rutgers University, the Community Business Academy by Rising Tide Capital, and the Back Office Support Program for Micro and Small Business Bookkeeping by Greater Newark Enterprises Corporation. She recently graduated from Invest Newark Street MBA program and came first place in the Growth Plan competition. She is also a graduate of the Inner City Capital Connection program. In 2020, her business was selected as one of the 2 finalists for the New Jersey Devils Bite Back program. Through this program, Flo's Tasty Treats received invaluable marketing and advertising exposure. It also led to an opportunity to have her flagship product, toasted corn and peanut mix, sold at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. On February 15th, she got my attention because Flo's Tasty Treats was featured in a Forbes article, which focused on the impact of public-private partnerships on the success of Black women entrepreneurs. While Ms. Dennis prides herself in working hard to achieve her dreams, she knows that her success wouldn't be possible without the village that supports and believes in her. One good thing about Flo too is that she used to be an ambassador for Women Leaders in Action. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming a woman of substance, Florence Dennis. Florence, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
I am great. Thank you. And thanks for having me. So excited to be here.
And it's good to have you. I would also like to acknowledge our viewers today, family of WLA fam, thank you so much. Our advisory board members, our executive board members, our volunteers, our donors, our ambassadors, thank you. I would like to acknowledge, I can see Miss Judy Sentulis, who is the Chief of Staff, Miss Susanna Kanyi, who is an ambassador, and she's watching all the way from Abu Dhabi, and also Mr. Alex James, an advisory board member. Thank you so much for being on. Okay. Flo, can you tell us when you decided to start your business?
Yes. So I actually registered my business in 2012, but I didn't start operating until 2017.
What is your business about? What do you do?
Well, so the name of my company is Flo's Tasty Treats. We are a company on a mission to bring visibility to African cuisine. And we are doing that through the simple joy of snacking.
So what products do you sell?
So currently we have two products. The first is a toasted corn and peanut mix, which is inspired by a popular snack from Ghana. If there are any Ghanaians watching, they know, people call it many names. Some call it graphic and time, some call it zoklali from the Ewe tribe. The Akans call it a broning katia. So that is the first product. The second one is 3 variety of dried coconut chips, also from Ghana.
Okay. And your journey has not been an easy one, as you've said. How did you get to the US and how did you get started?
Yeah, so I came to the US through, a refugee program because I was born in Liberia. And, as many immigrants, we come with dreams, right? And I think for me in particular, I didn't even know I would come to America. My dad called me one day and said, hey, there's an opportunity for you. And so here I landed, right? But I came just realizing this really is the land of opportunities. It is a place where your dreams can come true. And I can definitely say that my steps were ordered by God, because when I came, I went directly to 12th grade. And being new in the country, I had no idea what was happening with my life, whether I would go to college. And to my surprise, I met this lady who was teaching AP sociology at the time. And I told her that I wanted to go to college, but I didn't have the funds, and my parents didn't have any money. So long story short, we went out to lunch. She helped me apply to a college called Bennett College in North Carolina. It's an all-female college. And when I got in, I was like, how do I even get to North Carolina? I don't know where this place is. But she invited me to her home. She had bought everything a mother would buy for a daughter to go to school. On top of that, she rented a van, drove me to North Carolina. So that's really how things started for me in the US, right? Just finding that person who believed in me, who was able to invest in me and sow a seed.
I see. And how old were you when you came to the US?
I was 19.
Okay. And you were born, you mentioned that you were born in Liberia, but you're originally from Ghana, is that?
Yeah, I was raised in Ghana.
Okay. All right. And so after you went through the education, what prompted you to decide this is where I want to be, or this is what I want to do?
Yeah, so the interesting thing is when I finished college, I was working at a Rite Aid as a cashier. And there was this gentleman who came and, told me about a business opportunity. So we met for lunch or dinner, I don't remember. But then he introduced me to Amway at that time. And also just told me that, if you really want to succeed in life, you can't be working 9 to 5. So he kind of instilled that idea that, you really need to think about doing something for yourself, take control over your life. And I think that was a seed sown again. It really kept me thinking, what can I do to really become financially free? Because I've always had dreams of helping people, making things happen and creating opportunities for others, but I just never had the means. So I had been thinking a lot, like, how do I become financially free? And I think, starting Flows was the perfect answer to that. I'm not financially free yet, but I'm on my way.
I see. And what is your business's mission and vision, Flo?
So as I mentioned before, our mission is really to bring visibility to African cuisine. When you go to grocery stores, especially mainstream stores, you don't really find African foods on the market. That is beginning to shift. But even when you find African foods on the shelf, they are targeting the African or the Caribbean population. What I want to see is mainstream gravitating towards African food, right? So you don't only have the Africans and the Caribbeans who are going down the aisle that is, for international food, but I really want to see mainstream America familiar with our food and also participating in our food. So that is really our mission. We want to make sure that people have African snacks in their homes. It becomes a staple. And I think by doing that, we're not only projecting a positive image of the continent, we're not only sharing our beautiful culture and food, but we're also creating access to market. You know, one of the things I really want to do is come up with an African snack box, where when you open a snack box, you are having snacks from somewhere, some country in the continent. And the way I want to do this is by partnering with small businesses in those countries to bring their snacks here. So giving them access to a bigger market. You know, someone is probably in Angola having a great snack, but probably just selling to people in his or her country. What if flows can be that vehicle through which that person's snack can migrate to the United States and be in the hands of a wider population? So that is really the vision for me. I want flows to become a household name for great African snacks.
Thank you for that. The other thing I have to ask you is, you came up with something so basic. I'm not trying to put down your product at all, but it's corn, roasted corn and peanuts. Okay. You can get that at any point, but you mixed it together, and now it's a tasty snack that we all like. And again, in Ghana, it's very common on the roadside. You know, actually, they sometimes call it the poor man's snack because it's peanuts and roasted corn, very readily available. Given this country's issue with allergies, how were you able to promote peanuts in a snack and be successful? Can you share that with us?
Yeah, I think first of all, to all businesses listening, you know, you may want to become a millionaire, you may want to become a billionaire, you may just want to make money, or you want to start a business and you're thinking, I need to come up with something really innovative. I need to come up with something new. And that is all good if you can do that. But if you can't, sometimes the simple things really can also lead you there, right? And to your point, it's a very simple snack. I chose to take this mainstream first because I know that whilst there are a lot of people who are allergic to peanuts, there's also a great appetite for peanut in America. The United States, I think, is the largest producer of peanuts, right? And then after that, you have China. So I just know that people also love peanut, but there are people who just can't eat it. And when you think about corn, it's also a big snack within America. So for me, it was an easy sell just because I know those two ingredients are something that Americans are familiar with, they consume it. And so, you know, there will be some that wouldn't be able to eat my product, but I think there are many. When you think about the number of people that are in the US, I think over 350 million, I'm sure I can have my share of people who would buy my snacks, you know? So I think that was the thinking for me. And I never allowed that to stop me. But at the same time, I'm very aware of the limitation with the peanuts. And so in the future, I'm considering adding, you know, products that do not have that kind of issue.
Okay. And the immigrant's journey, what aspect of your journey has been the most difficult? Because as an immigrant, we go through everything. For me, as an immigration attorney, this is a success story that I live to see every day. Because first, you even have to inflect your voice so people can understand what you're saying, because they're like, you have an accent, I can understand what you're saying. How did you overcome all those not roadblocks, but I call them growing pains, for lack of a better term, to get to where you are today? Because most immigrants would be intimidated. They would have the idea, but they'd be like, oh no, even doing a presentation, even explaining to people is going to be an issue. How did you get through that?
Yeah, I think first of all, when you have a vision that is bigger than you, when you have a vision that drives you every day, and you know that when you fail, many people fail. That's how I feel, right? I really want Flows to become a successful company. And I also want it to become a company that is changing lives, because people have changed minds. So if I drop the ball, then I'm depriving many other people that can succeed from whatever I have to give. So one, that drives me every day. There are many times when, you doubt yourself. There are many times when you feel tired, but I keep going because of that. I think one of the hardest moments for me has been not really having, and when I talk about not having support, especially financial support, um, it's just been a very rough financial journey for me. And I only wish I had maybe a parent who could have my back and say, hey, you can make rent today. I got you. I never have that, or you can pay this bill. I got you. It's never been the issue for me. So just not having that financial support or the backing of parents or just people who can say, go get your dreams, I've got you, has been very difficult. Because aside from taking care of myself, as you know, most immigrants, we are caring for people back home. We have to send money, so we have other pressures, and I have just had so many pressures, and sometimes I wish there was that relief. And that's why for me, when I think about supporting entrepreneurs, especially minority entrepreneurs, you really have to think about the whole picture. You could give an entrepreneur a grant of 5,000, oh, go invest in your business. But there are many other things that may be impacting that person that you don't know. Maybe that person can't even pay their rent. Maybe there's something they can't do. And so you realize that they're fighting their own personal battles while trying to grow a business. So for me, my model of supporting entrepreneurs when I become successful is really giving a holistic approach to what support really means. Let's make sure you're okay mentally. Let's make sure you're okay emotionally. And then you can really grow a successful business. So those have been some of my challenges.
Okay. Along the way, you participated in a lot of programs. Some of them I listed earlier: incubator program, Rising Tide. How did you find out about these opportunities? Because a lot of times that's what stalls entrepreneurs. They're in their corner, not knowing that they can get funding here, they can get funding there, and then they miss out on a lot of opportunities. But I see from your bio that you've really availed yourself to all these entities, and you've made a success of it. So how did you how did you find out about these opportunities?
It all started when one day I was going to work and I saw a sign that was advertising the services that Rising Tide provides. And at that time, I was like seriously thinking about the business. So I was like, maybe I called them up, or I emailed and I said I was interested in it was a business program for, small business owners that were starting their business. So it was just perfect for me. And it all started there. So I saw the ad, followed up, and got into that program. It was, I think, a 12-week program. And since then, many other opportunities presented themselves. Rising Tide is connected to many of the organizations that you see there. So once you're kind of like in their pipeline, you have access to what's happening within other organizations. But I've also just been someone who is always on the lookout, very resourceful. Just knowing that as a business owner, I need to grow. I need to learn things, because if you don't grow personally, your business won't grow. So I've just been also very proactive about looking for opportunities that will benefit me. But I've also been fortunate to be recommended for things, I would say. So it's really what you put out there, what will come to it. One of the advice I have is just be bankable, present yourself as someone that people want to refer for things. Present yourself as someone that people know will get the work done. Because when you do that, people feel comfortable recommending you for other opportunities that are within their network.
Okay. And can you tell us a little bit about how you were able to get your products at NJPAC? You were finalist for the New Jersey Devils Buy Black program. And through that, your product is now going to be sold at NJPAC. That is no small achievement. Can you help us understand how that came to be?
Yeah, so with the New Jersey Devils, I remember I was in Ghana on vacation. And then one night I was just going through my email and I saw something about buy black. And I saw the Devils, New Jersey Devils, but I didn't know who they were at that time. But when I saw buy black, I'm like, this sounds like an interesting program. It was very late that night, but I stayed up to complete the application. Got back to the US and I had this email from someone saying, hey, you're part of the finalists, would like to interview you. I'm like, what is this about? I went and I Googled, because it sounded really important. So I was like, let me Google this organization to see who they are. I Googled and I was like, wow, the New Jersey Devils, it sounds really cool. So I went for the interview. Unfortunately, I became a winner. And as a result of that, my product is now sold at the Prudential Center. But fast forward, NJ Pack, that came about as a result of being in the Invest Newark program, the Street MBA program, because we had one of the executives of NJ Park come speak to us in our class. And, we were told to follow up. And so I just followed up with him and I said, I have this product. I think it would do great in your venue. Would you consider connecting me with the right person? And that's just how it happened. So he connected me with the person in charge of the vending and we took it from there. So one of the things I would also say to entrepreneurs is that follow up. Follow up is really important. And the other thing I also say is that show up. When I say show up, it doesn't just mean show up in person. Show up on that email. When you see something advertised, show up, look at it. Maybe if it costs you 30, 40 minutes, show up and apply for it because you never know where it might lead you.
That is sound advice. Thank you so much. And what would you say in a few words? How, in fact, let me rephrase that. How would you describe your business's success so far?
We've come a long way, but I would say we're still in the survival stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are your goals and projections for the future?
This year, I want us to become $1 million company. That is the target for this year. But ultimately, I try to dream big. Sometimes I'm an idealistic person, but it pays sometimes to dream big. So I would love to see us become $1 billion business someday. But I think that will have to include other things. Probably flows will become bigger in terms of focusing on other aspects of the food market, not just snacks. We may extend ourselves into other staples, or who knows? But $1 billion is also a target in the far future.
I see. And what is a day in the life of Flo like?
Wow.
From sunrise to sunset. What is a day?
It's so interesting.
But if I were to follow you, literally.
I have a full-time job. I work for the Department of Education in New York City. So, typically I would wake up around 5 a.m. and I would go on the prayer line. So it would be 5 to 6. And then I usually get ready within an hour to make the 7 o'clock train into the city. And so I get to work sometimes by 7:45. I like to get there early in case I have, some things to do on my own. I get that done before starting work, work till 5. But when I close from work, it's a whole new day for me because then I become CEO of Flows. I usually maybe go home, have dinner, or sometimes I don't. I come directly to my facility. I have a place in Newark where I package, we package our snacks. And from there, it could be a bunch of things. It could be, boxing products so that I could ship to customers. It could be responding to emails. It could be doing a whole lot of things. And typically my day doesn't end till maybe 11 or midnight. So I barely, get enough sleep, but it's all good. I believe there's a time for everything and there are seasons. So this season of my life is really busy where I'm juggling a full-time job and juggling a business that could also be full-time. but everything will pass someday when I'll have more help and I can maybe quit my job and become full-time with my business. So we'll see.
Okay. And your products, do you have any to show today on the set? Do you have any?
Oh, the only thing, oh yeah, I do actually. I have two things to show. This is the coconut that we sell. This coconut has coconut nectar, so it's a little sweet. And then this is the bag. Can you see?
Can you draw it on?
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. So this is the 2-ounce bag, and this is what is sold at the Prudential Center as well as NJ Pack. We're also at Penn Station, New York. So when you go there, you find our product. We're also at Central Park, Walman Ring. So you can find us there. We're on Amazon, and hopefully we'll be getting to Costco soon. So I'm very excited about that.
That would be a good deal.
Yes, okay. Yes, absolutely.
Do you have any advice that you mentioned some along the way, but do you have any advice that you'd like to give future business owners or those thinking about starting their own businesses? You mentioned a little bit here and there, but anything?
I actually have a whole list. So I think the first one is really asking yourself the difficult question. Is there a need for my product or service in the marketplace? I think this is a question that every entrepreneur or want to be entrepreneur must answer, because there are needs of the market, and we are, as businesses, we are the solutions, right? We provide solutions for problems within the market. So you really need to figure out whether there is a need for what you're selling. When I started my business, like you said, it's corn and peanuts. So, I was like, okay, let's see how this goes. But it was interesting when store owners would literally call me and say, literally say, someone came to my store and they said, you need to carry this product. Then I was like, wow, I guess I'm in business then, So I keep hearing this over and over, and that affirmed that there is a need for my product. So that's, I think, the first place I would advise entrepreneurs to start. The other thing is, once you've gotten this affirmation, you need to believe in your product. No one is going to sell your product better than you. And so you really need to believe in what you're selling. The other thing I would mention is that, you have to believe in yourself. So we wish people will, tell us, hey, you can do this all the time, but it doesn't always work that way. You need to get up every morning and say, I've got this. This is challenging, but I have what it takes. You have got to believe in yourself. Otherwise, no one will, or even if they do, it won't be every day. So every day you need to remind yourself that you can do this. I think the other thing is you have to learn how to sell, because if you don't learn how to sell, whatever services you're offering is just going to sit with you, right? So you have to learn how to sell your product to stores. You need to learn how to overcome objections. You need to learn how to show people, even when they think they don't need your product, show them how the product will be beneficial for them. Of course, there are some no's that are no's, but there are many no's that you can turn into a yes. The other thing is be bankable. Have you carried yourself in a way where people feel, you know what, I can recommend this person for this opportunity, or I can put money in this business because I know this person will deliver. I know this person is committed. That is really important. The other thing, as I mentioned, is you need to show up, right? You need to show up at those events. You need to show up when you see an email and an opportunity comes your way. The reason why people don't show up many times is these applications sometimes could be cumbersome. They may require it. Sometimes I apply for things and it takes hours, and I feel like giving up, but I push through. So you show up, and also follow up with people you meet. Follow up with emails. Follow up with things. Finally, I have more. You need to also build trust. People need to trust you. Your customers need to trust you. your employees need to trust you. That's something you don't take for granted. I really make sure that I keep my word to my employees or people who help me. You also need to be grateful. You know, we can always want more, we can always have needs, but be grateful for the opportunities, and every day show gratitude. Show gratitude to people who, you know, look out for you. Show gratitude, go above and beyond to show gratitude. And the last thing I will say is that, you know, intentionally support and open doors for other entrepreneurs. I'm very intentional about that. So many people have opened doors for me. And so it's only right that I will look out for other entrepreneurs. And I do that especially for women who I know, you know, are up to their game, and all they need is probably an introduction. All they need is for me to share an opportunity with her or him. So I am very intentional about that, because whatever you put out will come back to you, you know. So those are some things I would share with entrepreneurs that are either in business or want to become entrepreneurs.
Thank you so much. So I really appreciate you sharing all these gems of wisdom with us. Being an entrepreneur is not an easy thing, and a lot of times we're told not to get into it because it's very frightening, it's very challenging, and most people think when you become an entrepreneur, you just work a few days. It's not a 9 to 5, it's a 24/7. So yeah, we appreciate you on behalf of women going out there on behalf of immigrants, making us know it's possible and it's doable. And on behalf of everybody out there, you've shared your story. It's a success story because it's not easy. And this is a country that when you come, you have to really start from scratch for the opportunities. And of course, it's a land of opportunity. So we really appreciate that. I thank you so much for spending your morning with us. And I know that we're going to see you on more covers of magazines where you are just growing in abundance. And also, most importantly, thanks for giving back to the community. You mentioned something on your site that I picked up on, and it's something that's up and coming. It's an impact box concept. And can you touch briefly on how you intend to use this impact box?
Yeah, so you know, education has been really important to me. I often say that education is the gift America gave to me. And so my goal is to give back. And the way I want to give back is for Flows to, you know, have a $1 million scholarship fund that we are going to give out to high school students that are going to college. We all know the burden of student loans, and, you know, many students graduate school with a heavy burden on them. They're making money, but there are loans to be paid, and I'm one of them. So how do we lessen the burden of, you know, loans on our students, especially minority students who are, you know, going off into the world not in a better state, you know, financially. So with this impact box, which will be launching in a few weeks, the goal is to donate $1 from each box that is sold to our $1 million scholarship fund. We're hoping to raise $1 million in the next 5 years. And the way we're going to be giving out these scholarships is starting with Newark. We're based in Newark, and for me, it's really important to give back to the community. So whatever we raise in the first round, we will be giving out scholarships to Newark students. We will also be working with organizations that are doing this work. WLA is one of those organizations. Last year, we were able to give just a very tiny dollar amount, but I am believing that in the next, you know, in the near future, we will be able to give more so that you can support your students. But we just want to make an impact by giving scholarships to students who have a desire to go to college and, you know, may not have the means to.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And then again, WLA, we do, one of our mission and vision goals is to send kids to from high school to college, and we've been doing this for a couple of years. We raise funds to give scholarships to students from high schools going into in the New Jersey area. It's limited to New Jersey, students going to college. and we have recipients and we have attestations on our website as well. This is our scholarship, and I would like to segue into that. This is our scholarship application month, this month and next month. In fact, the application period ends on May 26th. So please visit our website, www.wlang.org, and fill out that application for high school seniors going into college. So that application is there to be filled out. All the requirements are there, and it's open to anybody and everybody who is a high school student residing in New Jersey. We have recipients whom we'll be interviewing in the next episode to see how these scholarships have impacted them. So please remember again, www.wlang.org, and go ahead and apply for our scholarship. That scholarship period ends on May 26th. Now, for Flo's treats information, if you want to buy any of the snacks and so on online, Flo's website is flostastytreats.com. You can go there, and also, and Flo, based on what you've said, we will be tapping into you for money for our students. And we thank you for past donations. You were a donor before. We thank you for that. And we will be looking at you to help us help our students. So totally it's a win-win situation for everyone. I thank you, viewers, for joining me yet again for this episode, An Immigrant's Journey to Success. Florence Dennis is and was our guest for today. And I would like to acknowledge everyone who helped to make this episode possible. First and foremost, I thank God for the ability to reach you wherever you are and to share wonderful people like Florence, who's gone out and above and beyond to succeed. I would also like to thank you, the viewers. You're always there and you're always very supportive. I thank my family that knows that the second Saturday of each month, I belong here to do this. And I would like to also acknowledge and thank WLA's Executive and Advisory Board, WLA's ambassadors, WLA's volunteers, of course, our donors without whom we would not be here, the WLA family, and everybody who joins us and listens to us. We thank you very, very much. And we hope you continue to support us and donate also. You can go to our website and do that. And most importantly, please, if you know of any high school students in need of a scholarship, in need of money for college, please advise them to go to our website. Again, www.wlang.org, and apply. So once again, Ms. Florence Dennis, thank you so much for paving the way for many of us coming behind you. So thank you again. Thanks to all. Have a great and wonderful weekend.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.